Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my dear brothers and sisters. Today I want to bring you into a moment of reflection, and I want you to stay with me until the end, because I will make a prayer especially for you, a prayer that could be the very shade your heart has been searching for. Chosen one, have you ever wondered why certain days feel heavier than others? Why there are moments when the light of the world feels too much to bear, and you sense a call not to step out, but to stay within? Tomorrow, you are not being called to expose yourself to the heat. You are being asked to remain in the shade. And no, I'm not speaking only of the physical sun, though its rays can scorch. I'm speaking of something deeper, something spiritual, something that touches the very core of your existence. When I say no sun exposure tomorrow, I'm telling you that your spirit is entering a moment where it cannot afford to be burned by unnecessary exposure, distractions, and the voices that want to pull you away from peace. Instead, you are being invited to rest under a covering that is not ordinary. It is a divine shade, one that protects, renews, and prepares you. Think of it this way. Not every spotlight is meant for you. Not every brightness is your stage. Sometimes the greatest power lies in stepping away from the glare and finding refreshment in the quiet of the shade. And here's something witty to think about. We all love to say, I need some sunlight. But have you noticed that most of your favorite moments are actually lived in the shade? The family gathering under the tree, the friend you spoke with on a calm evening, the moments of silence where you finally heard your own soul. Shade is not a weakness, it is wisdom. The chosen ones know when to step back from the heat and let their hearts cool down under mercy. But let me ask you this. Could it be that tomorrow is not just another day, but a day where you are being shielded from something you cannot yet see? Could it be that the one who knows the secrets of tomorrow is whispering to you today, saying, stay close, stay covered, stay safe under my protection? My dear brother, my dear sister, do not ignore this call. When Allah places you in shade, it is not to hide you, but to preserve you until the right moment of unveiling. So lean in, stay with me, because over the next few minutes, I am going to open up why this shade is not ordinary, why tomorrow matters, and why you, yes, you, must take this message personally. And I promise you, before we close, I will lift up a prayer that covers you, your heart, your family, and everything you are carrying. That prayer will be the closing note of this message. But right now, let this introduction settle inside you. Tomorrow is not for exposure. Tomorrow is for shade. When we think about shade, we often picture a simple escape from the burning sun, a tree that shelters us, a roof that shields us, or a cloud that passes by and cools the ground beneath us. But spiritually, shade is far more than a comfort. It is a sign of protection, a reminder that you are not meant to be consumed by the intensity of the world. Shade is where Allah invites the chosen ones when the heat of life becomes too much to bear. It is a covering, a mercy, and a message that you are seen, valued, and preserved. If you pay attention to your life, you'll notice that there were moments you should have been burned by exposure, whether through certain people, certain choices, or certain environments. But somehow, you were shielded. A door closed, a conversation ended, a distraction was pulled away. At the time, you may have felt confused or even frustrated. But later, you realized that what looked like a limitation was actually shade, a divine hand covering you so you could heal, reset, and prepare for something greater. Have you ever wondered why shade feels so different when you step into it? Think about a scorching summer day. The heat is unbearable. The ground seems to burn your very steps. But then you find a tree, and under that tree, everything changes. The temperature shifts. The air feels different. Your body exhales in relief. That is the spiritual meaning of shade. It is the place where your soul exhales, where your heart finally rests after carrying too much weight. When Allah calls you into shade, He is calling you to step out of the chaos and into His peace. And here's something a little witty for you. We spend money on sunscreen, hats, and umbrellas just to avoid being burned by the sun. But how often do we think about the protection we need from the spiritual sunburns of this world? The shade Allah offers is more than temporary relief. It's permanent wisdom. It teaches you to choose wisely, to recognize that not every place of light is safe, and not every shining opportunity is truly good for you. The chosen ones understand this secret. Shade is not a prison. It is a palace. It is not emptiness. It is fullness hidden from sight. Under the shade, things grow silently. Seeds sprout in the coolness. Roots strengthen where the heat cannot scorch them. In the same way, when you are kept under shade spiritually, it means you are being allowed to grow in ways that exposure would have destroyed. The very fact that you are being pulled away from certain lights is proof that you are being prepared for something far brighter, something that will not burn but bless. So let me ask you directly, could it be that your current season of quiet, of waiting, of feeling hidden, is actually your shade? Could it be that what you thought was delay is protection, and what you saw as emptiness is actually the most fertile ground for your spirit? Brothers and sisters, tomorrow is not about missing out. It is about receiving shade that the rest of the world doesn't even recognize exists. And if you take this seriously, you will realize that being placed in the shade is one of the greatest honors Allah can give His chosen ones. Chosen one, now that you understand the beauty of shade, it's time to recognize why exposure can be harmful. Exposure is not just physical. It comes in many forms. It is stepping into situations, environments, and relationships without the protection of awareness, wisdom, or divine guidance. Exposure can burn your spirit in ways that pain cannot always reveal. It can drain your energy, distort your focus, and divert you from the path that is meant for you. Have you noticed how sometimes, when everything seems bright and inviting, there is a subtle weight on your chest, a quiet unease? That's your soul sensing danger. That's the signal that the light you are walking into is not meant to warm you. It is meant to consume you. And here is a little wit to help you remember. Not every light in the world wants to brighten your life. Some are just flashlights for someone else's agenda. Exposure without shade leaves you vulnerable to these unseen burns. Think about the times you were overwhelmed, overstretched, or distracted. The constant noise, the pressure to perform, the people who demand more than they give. You may have been walking into a fire without even realizing it. And yet, Allah in His wisdom often pulls the chosen ones aside, providing shade before the burn. The shade is protection, not punishment. It is preparation, not rejection. And let's be honest, exposure without caution can also blind you. When the sun is too harsh, the eyes cannot see the path ahead clearly. You may make choices that seem right in the moment but lead to unnecessary pain. Exposure without shade can tempt you to chase fleeting pleasures, to react out of fear or desire, and to forget the eternal. The chosen ones understand that staying under divine shade is not surrender, it is strategy. It is wisdom in action. Let me ask you this. Have you ever experienced situations where everything seemed perfect on the surface, yet something deep inside whispered, "This is not for you"? That inner voice is Allah's subtle guidance, calling you to shade before exposure, to protection before harm. When you learn to listen, you will realize that the most powerful choice is often to step away from the light that seems brightest and trust the covering you cannot see fully. The contrast is clear. Shade nurtures and protects, while exposure without wisdom threatens and consumes. Those who walk boldly into every heat without the guidance of Allah often find themselves scorched, confused, or broken. The chosen ones, however, recognize the importance of timing, of discernment, of patience. You are not meant to endure every light, only the right light at the right time. And that right light is revealed through shade first. So remember, tomorrow is a day to honor this lesson. Not all brightness is blessing, not all warmth is mercy, and not every path is meant for your steps. Shade is not a limitation. It is a sanctuary where your spirit can grow, your heart can breathe, and your vision can sharpen for what is truly coming. Chosen one, now that you understand the beauty of shade and the dangers of exposure, it's time to recognize that stepping into shade is not passive. It is a conscious, powerful decision. It is not weakness, fear, or avoidance. Retreating into shade is the wisdom of the chosen ones, the secret of those who have learned that timing, protection, and preparation are keys to their destiny. Life often tempts us with the brightness of opportunities, the glare of attention, or the heat of urgency. It whispers that action, exposure, and immediate engagement are signs of strength. But true strength, my dear brothers and sisters, lies in discernment. It lies in knowing when to step back, when to pause, when to seek the covering that Allah has prepared for you. Retreating into shade is not giving up. It is aligning with the divine rhythm that guides your success, your peace, and your blessings. Think about it. Every great tree, every flourishing garden, every thriving plant first finds shade, first finds protection before it grows tall. Your spirit works the same way. When Allah draws you into shade, He is not removing you from the world. He is preserving you, nourishing you, and preparing you for a moment of brilliance that would be impossible under constant exposure. The retreat into shade is a strategy of the wise, a hidden strength of those chosen to fulfill greater purposes. Here's a subtle but important point. Sometimes, retreat is exactly what makes you appear to the world as slow, cautious, or even hesitant. And yet, in that very pause, in that very quiet moment, your soul is strengthening, your heart is learning patience, and your vision is becoming clear. Let me make it a little witty for you. Retreating into shade is like knowing when to leave a crowded street during the heat wave. The world may think you are missing out, but in truth, you are stepping into survival and preparation. Have you ever considered that what you call waiting, what you call hiding, what you call staying in the background, may actually be the most strategic move you have ever made? Shade is not for everyone, and it is not for the unaware. It is for the chosen ones who can recognize that stepping away from heat does not mean avoiding life. It means embracing life with clarity, protection, and readiness. Midway through this reflection, ask yourself, could it be that every moment of discomfort you are feeling now, every restriction or delay is actually an invitation to retreat into shade? Could it be that Allah is whispering to you, step back, prepare, and allow me to guide you into what is truly meant for you? The shade may feel silent. It may feel isolating, but remember, silence is the language of preparation, and isolation is the soil where your spiritual roots grow stronger than ever. The retreat into shade is also a moment of profound trust. It is a test, not of fear but of faith. A challenge to see whether you can follow the divine guidance without seeing the full picture. The chosen ones learn to find joy, peace, and strength under the shadow, trusting that every protected step taken today is a step into greater light tomorrow. So as you prepare for tomorrow, understand this. Stepping into shade is not a delay, not a punishment, and not a loss. It is an honor, a strategic alignment with your path, and a gift from the one who knows what is coming before it arrives. Retreat wisely, retreat faithfully, and retreat with the knowledge that under this divine shade, your spirit is being renewed, your heart is being guarded, and your future is being prepared. Remember this always. Shade is never empty. Retreat is never weakness. And patience under protection is the hallmark of the chosen ones. Chosen one, pay close attention, because the signs that Allah is guiding you into shade are subtle, powerful, and unmistakable if you open your heart. You may feel an unexpected heaviness, a gentle pause in your plans, a quiet tug in your spirit that tells you to step back. It is not random. It is divine protection, a signal that the light you see is not meant for you right now. You might notice that certain opportunities suddenly close without explanation. The door you were pushing so hard to open remains shut, and yet, in that very closure lies mercy. What you see as delay is actually shielding. What you perceive as a setback is actually alignment. Have you ever paused in frustration, only to realize later that what you thought was loss saved you from harm? That is the essence of shade. Your energy may feel drained, your focus scattered, or your heart restless. These are not signs of failure. They are warnings that exposure would overextend you. The chosen ones understand that these moments are not coincidences. They are signals. The inner unease, the quiet whisper, the sense of being redirected. These are all invitations to retreat into divine protection. Notice how the world seems louder, busier, or brighter than usual. Some people demand more than they should. Distraction multiply, and the heat of challenge rises. These are tests, not punishments. They are designed to guide you into shade where you can breathe, reflect, and prepare. A wise heart will recognize these moments. Step aside and trust that Allah's cover is stronger than any light or fire in the world. You may also find yourself drawn to quiet places, moments of reflection or solitude without fully understanding why. That pull is the sign that your spirit is seeking its shelter. The chosen ones do not fight this instinct, they embrace it. The shade is calling, and it is a place where your soul can rest. Your mind can see clearly, and your heart can realign with the path Allah has set before you. Sometimes, these signs appear as cancellations, closed doors, or sudden changes in your plans. And here's a subtle truth. The world may label these as mistakes or failures, but the chosen ones see differently. Every closed path, every pause, every unexpected shift is a protective hand guiding you into the shade. Other times, the signs are internal, a sense of discomfort in the heat of social pressures, a quiet resistance to overstimulation, or an unexplainable longing for stillness. This is your spirit speaking, reminding you that exposure is not your blessing, but shade is. It is in these moments that you must trust your instincts, honor the pull inward, and follow the path of divine shielding without hesitation. The key is awareness. When you recognize these signs, restlessness, closed doors, subtle redirections, energy drain, you step into shade willingly, without struggle and without fear. Shade becomes a sanctuary, a school, and a preparation ground for the blessings to come. Do not ignore these signals, for they are your roadmap, your divine GPS. They are the unmistakable whispers that guide the chosen ones away from what would burn them and toward what will strengthen them. The chosen ones do not resist. They follow the shade, they embrace the pause, and they prepare silently for the light that is meant for them. Tomorrow, pay attention. Watch for the subtle nudges, the small redirections, the gentle discomforts. They are not obstacles. They are shade calling you, inviting you, and preparing you for everything that Allah has in store. Chosen one, now that you have journeyed through understanding the shade, recognizing the signs, and embracing its hidden blessings, it is time to pause and reflect on what this truly means for your life. Tomorrow is not simply another day on the calendar. It is a day of divine guidance, a day of protection, and a day where your choices under this sacred shade will shape your path in ways you cannot yet see. You have learned that shade is not weakness, but wisdom. Exposure is not always strength, but often danger. The moments that feel still, quiet, and invisible are actually the moments that matter the most. The chosen ones know this secret. True power is developed in patience, reflection, and divine alignment. You are being prepared, strengthened, and shielded, so that when the right time comes, you will walk fully into the light with clarity, purpose, and unstoppable faith. Think about all the moments you resisted, doubted, or wished for faster results. Every delay, every pause, every invisible hand that redirected you was part of the shade. And if you look back, you may notice that these were not losses at all. They were blessings disguised as silence, preparation hidden within pause, and a mercy hidden behind what the world calls obstacles. The chosen ones understand this. The shade is not absence, it is abundance. So today, reflect on the ways Allah has guided you, even when you did not understand. Reflect on the times your spirit was preserved, your heart was guarded, and your steps were quietly aligned with what is best for you. There is profound power in this awareness. There is comfort in knowing that every pause, every step back, every moment of quiet is a moment where your destiny is being carefully written. And now, as promised, let us lift our hearts together in prayer. O Allah, most merciful, most wise, I ask you to cover all those listening in your divine shade. Protect their hearts from harm, their minds from confusion, and their spirits from exposure that could weaken them. Grant them patience in moments of pause, clarity in moments of uncertainty, and blessings hidden in the quiet moments of life. Strengthen their faith, renew their hope, and guide them to what is best in this world and the hereafter. Allow them to recognize your signs, embrace your guidance, and trust in your timing. O Allah, let every moment of waiting, every period of shade, and every pause in their lives become a source of growth, mercy, and preparation for your light. Ameen. Remember, chosen one, shade is not a limitation. It is your preparation. Exposure without guidance is danger. Retreat with wisdom is your honor. Walk into tomorrow consciously, embracing every signal, every pause, and every moment of divine protection. Carry this knowledge in your heart and let it guide every step you take. The blessings are real, the protection is real, and the growth you experience under shade is eternal. Never forget, the shade is where your roots grow strong, your vision sharpens, and your purpose becomes clear. Stay under it, trust it, and allow it to prepare you for the extraordinary life Allah has destined for you. You are chosen, you are protected, you are growing.